Welcome to Monday Night Live Chat, episode 6. Jersey, how are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
You look so festive. You look so spring-like with your tie-dye.
I love this tie-dye. Remember the tie-dye that I bought in Florida?
Yeah, I know. You're a tie-dye kind of guy.
Tie-dye. I'm a hippie at heart if I could. That's what I definitely am. I'm just going to share this out a couple more places real quickly.
Definitely.
I'm going
to say hi to a bunch of people. Spotless Pain, what's up? Hey now, first. Micah Kilgore, yo, what's up? Levi S, what's up? The Window Guys, of course, what's going on? Micah Kilgore said, hello from Western NC. What's up from Central NC? Window Guys said, Jersey is about to say, what's up, everybody? And yeah, I saved that. You only got so many of those in me. Isaac, what's up, man? Hallman Window Cleaning, what up? Chris Ott said yes, hippie at heart, by the way.
Yes.
What's up to Kenning Bennett? What's going on? Max Efficiency Solar, yo, what's up? If you're here, say hello so we know you're here. And I also want to know the question of the day is going to be, what's the gas prices where you are? That's what I want to know. Because I've seen some really gross ones, by the way. California is like
I saw Christopher Ray out in California sent me a picture yesterday. 13 gallons was $82.
What?
Yeah. I upped all my prices like right away for any new bids that I'm doing. I've decided.
Oh, you have to.
And then it's funny how we were talking about 2 weeks ago about bidding in person or not bidding in person. I think this year is going to be a real good year. Like not bidding in person. Try to do as much as you can by not doing that because it's bad, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's so many people have said stuff about that. Because after that episode, I did a Nation episode on bidding, over the phone, and I'm having like a ton of people who are like, "It's life-changing. It's life-changing. It's so good." So hopefully, a lot of people do that.
I do agree. It's a good way to do it, especially you do save a lot of time. Like there's definitely nothing wrong with it. And I remember when I used to do it all the time, and I used to be like so frustrated at the end of the day, like crap. I got to go do 3 bids right now. Like I'm exhausted. I don't want to talk to a person about Windows anymore today. I'm done. I'm done.
And then you go and do sales, which is 24/7. Yeah. No, at my truck gets 13 miles a gallon, like with a backwind and as I'm trailing behind a semi. So doing estimates cost me like $30 to go do an estimate if I had to go do one in person.
Right. Yeah. Now your truck, your Jeep now, what do you get? What's your rate on there?
It's 13. It's 13, yeah.
Dang. That sucks.
Micah just said 419 where they are. Kara said, hi guys, 1, which I think was supposed to be an explanation point, but rad. That's what I do all the time. Nothing but phone quotes from Spotless Pain, saving so much in gas. And to start it off, keep talking gas, tell us your prices, but NM Reptiles, probably New Mexico Reptiles. Hey, SteveO, my name's Nick. I'm 17 years old. I'm starting my own property service business with landscaping and window cleaning. Do you have any tips?
My biggest tip probably for that would be just to go for like residential if you're already doing landscaping. I actually know a local guy who does that, and he has a landscaping company and a window cleaning company. And it's worked out extremely well just because of how many leads that you're going to get by doing the landscaping and getting in there and then be able to clean the windows. And you could look at window cleaning as a more regular thing maybe than landscaping, or you could do it all at once. But you could definitely do, since you're already in the neighborhoods, door hangers, stuff like that. But I think that is a great combination, actually. And even if you're doing exterior only, I think that's a great idea, and there's a lot of ways to go with that. It's a lot of equipment. That is one thing I would say. It's a lot of equipment to haul around. So that's one thing to think about is, do you want to split up the landscaping and the window cleaning rather than having it be all out of one truck? But I think it's a great idea. I think it's just the way that, do some marketing, maybe get your Google My Business going, just like any business, and go for it. But I think it's a great idea. I did lawn mowing from age 15 to 18 every summer. And it can be a great paying job, especially at 17. You can make some really good money.
Oh yeah. Well, you can piggyback too, like you were saying, like sell window cleaning to lawn care customers and sell lawn care to window cleaning customers. So it's a nice little piggyback.
Yeah.
And you get to really find what sticks. You know, like people sometimes they think that when in business they have like one end goal, but it's like riding a bike in the sand. Like you kind of know where you're going, but you don't really know how you're getting there, you know? Doing both of those, you'll know what you like better.
And that's like probably around like the same customer base as far as what you'll find with window cleaning is if people can pay for, say, you know, you to mow the lawn, you to do the landscaping regular, it's usually the same type of customers that will pay for window cleaning as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're putting yourself in the door as like an all service person, throw pressure washing in there, dang.
Right.
You'd be the only person in the neighborhoods, man. So no, I think it's great.
What's up to Missed One says he's here. Max Efficiency Solar said, thanks for with your help. Thanks for your help the other day. Isaac just said $2.89 per liter for diesel. Per liter. Oof. I'm a dumb American who doesn't know conversions very well automatically, but that's a lot. Because like per liter, how many liters are in a gallon, you know?
Right.
$3.99 in Colorado. $3.69.
That's down because I'm paying $4.50 right now where I am for like mid.
Oh, mid.
I have to. It says it on my thing. It says I have to.
Yeah.
No, I have to do it.
Gotta say, well, not all of us. Anybody is in the group who does not own a Ferrari. We can put regular fuel, like regular melted dinosaur bones, using the fancy kind.
You don't wait. You get to use unleaded for your Jeep? That doesn't make sense.
I get to use whatever I put in there, I think.
Okay, I guess you don't care. All right. Won't last as long. Car will break down.
I do kind of wish it was diesel, just because I could get way more out of it. But yet diesel's like crazy. It was like a 5-something diesel here.
Oh, to have a diesel engine instead of having gas?
No, well, I wanted that, but my buddy's got a diesel truck, and the diesel here is like $5.01 or something. It's just over $5 per gallon.
I almost got the diesel Chevy Colorado, but then I read
that's literally what he has is a diesel Colorado.
Oh, really? See?
Yeah, it's a joke that no one has that truck. Like people like see him pull up. He has people at the gas station be like, "Oh, actually, that's a diesel." People like, "Oh, thanks." And he just fills up his truck.
Thanks, guy. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, guy. I'm not your friend, buddy.
I've had anyone requesting a bid send pictures of the house instead of going out. What? Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought it was a question. It wasn't a question.
He's saying, I think that he's getting people to send pictures. I never did pictures. I never ever asked for a picture because, like, when you do this long enough, you kind of just know with just a couple questions.
Now,
you had people?
How many times did you mess up? Like, did
I beef it?
Yeah.
Majorly beefed it that I remember 2 times. 2 times, and I probably did phone bids for about 10 years. 8 to 10 years. And I only did it twice. I messed up. One time, I showed up to a house, and the lady literally had her house remodeled, and they took the outside of the back of the house and built a big sunroom, which was literally 2 stories of all just solid glass. Yeah. Glass and frames, that was it. And I went to her and I'm like, I can't do your house for like whatever it was, $299, $329 or whatever it was. She's like, oh, well, I hope it's not because I'm not white. That's what the first thing she said to me. And I was like, after this, I'm like, I'm done already. Because I mean, it was literally 3 times as much of the entire house was just that back room that she didn't tell me about.
Yeah.
She's like, because my questions were, let's go around your house in your head and count out the windows. And she said, I went around my house. I didn't go out into the sunroom. So she like tried to pull something, but I'm like, all right, like there's no way. Like I explained it to her, and every phone bid I ever do, I'm like, hey, listen, like I will double check this just to be sure, you know.
Right.
So
that's always not fun when you're part of a crew. I was always the person got put in the sunroom, and it's hot and it's just humid, and you're just stuck there for the whole time. Everyone's else cleaning the house, and they're never fun, inside or out. So
speaking of, we have a ton of people in here right now. Everybody who I see says #1clip. I'm going to give you a shout out because you're right.
How
did that become a thing?
You see what Mike Nichols posted? It was from Ettore about putting 2 clips.
Yeah.
But you know what?
You,
I would say this. I would say whatever makes your day better, you have to do. And if one clip makes your day better, use one clip. If two clips makes your day better, use two clips. If clipless makes your day better, be clipless.
If clipless makes your day go by better, you need to try some other equipment. I hate clipless equipment. It drives me literally mad.
I would either go two clip or clipless. I really do love the Unger S channel. I put that in. I never really have too many issues with it. I don't like it as like an 18 and stuff, but yeah. OC. Yep. Mike's telling you right now.
Mike made that up. Mike, that's like one of those things. You can't believe everything you read on the internet. Signed Abraham Lincoln. You know, it's like one of those.
No, man. This is true. Oh, and then TJ comes in 20 years with one clip. You don't use clips, TJ. You use Unger S channels. Where are you using a clip at? I don't know. Oh, look at this, man. Chris Ott tried out one clip last week. It was rough on the big channels. That rubber just sliding in and jumping. And he called me. He was like, man, that Jersey guy, what is he talking about? I didn't do that. I put words in your mouth. I'm sorry.
I can't win them all, but I just love the fact that like little things, you know, when like as a content guy, you try to like do things and sometimes you're like, dude, this video is going to be great. And then nobody cares. And then you do another video and you're like, ugh, and then everybody loves it. It's the one clip, two clip thing. Like so many people talk about one clip, two clip now, just in random posts, they tag it. And it's like the littlest thing. It makes me happy.
I can tell it makes you happy. There's like a post a day about this.
I throw it into everything now because people still talk about it. It's great.
Well, it's like a forever battle. It's like soap wars. So like what soap you use. Most people don't do really soap wars anymore. But it was
hard for a while. E-cover days, remember that? TJ knows that.
Oh, e-cover days. I loved e-cover for a while.
They were so hardcore.
Yeah.
But do you remember like the back and forth was like it was a whole thing. It was like the only debate then.
When I discovered e-cover, it was because of Wagga out in the UK. And he was using it. And I literally went onto Amazon and got like a case of about like 15 of them. But I went through the soap so fast because I like it sudsy and it doesn't stay sudsy for very long. So, I mean, but it was good, man. It was good stuff.
It's good while it lasted. Look at this. Sean Johnson, one clip. He's like one pump.
No, he said one pump. He said nothing about one clip.
Clean clips. I like it. TJ, of course, Squeegee Life. If you haven't, he is the man. Even though he doesn't, I don't know if he was doing it because of me, but I had done like a squeegee thing on a glass, and somebody was like, "Oh, you're one of those one finger guys," where I like put my finger up because I was like trying to do it like just real smooth. And then TJ did a video today. It was like, if you do it with the finger on there, I don't remember what he called me, but he said something, and I was like,
"You're a little girl."
Yeah. Look at those dainty hands.
That's because what you held it like this.
No, like I don't have a handle right by me, but I just like did it, and I had my finger up on the because I used to do that to teach the guys like, like that, but you hold it like between your fingers, not like in your hand. Because I was trying to show people like. Because when people say, "Oh, I don't know, something's not working. This rubber's chattery," I say, take a squeegee, put your one finger where the pole goes, and do the window with that. I guarantee you can clean a window like that. And every single person who's ever done it, they're like, "Oh, you do not have you. If you push hard, the rubber bends back, and then you're hitting the side of the rubber, not the little triangle square or the edge of it."
Yeah. I know. I used to have like times when I first started race to grip it so hard that like by the end of my day, my hand would be so like, I couldn't even, it was sad.
That's how you get carpal tunnel and stuff too.
Yeah.
Is from like doing that too hard.
Yeah. But then there's channels where, well, no, I guess there's no channels that really hold themselves. Well, I guess Unger Ninja. See, Unger Ninja, that's like some of the weirdest clips. As far as like it's good, but it's odd how far back it holds the rubber, and then the rubber can really flex on the end. So that's not a good one.
It's like I love the Ninja like handles for the TURs and for the squeegee, and I would love to put like the super channel. Love that combination, but I don't like the chunkiness of the Ninja channel. Just those like clips, they're just too chunky.
I'm shocked that they haven't actually taken that and made something else with it and made it better. Yeah. And I'm surprised that nobody else like Unger or Ettore has made an angled channel that's better than the liquidator that more people like. I mean,
Yeah.
the liquidator is just a channel that takes so much practice. Most people just don't want to do it. Like, it's the most love and hated thing. Like, it's one of those things that's like hard to understand. But like, I get why like Poles and Blades makes so many videos about it, is because he's trying to teach people about it. But it's a hard thing to use for most people.
Yeah. I know it's public knowledge now, but Sorbo is going to have something that's in production now that clips onto the back of their channel, and it's like a flick pad. So you can do that with like, and any of them. They make one in like a I know it wasn't a 36. Maybe it must have been like a 24 or something. I saw a giant one, so you could make a really big pad if you want.
I think where that would be awesome is on a ledger for high pole work, having that and having be able to wet it and not having to switch tools. I think that could be huge as far as that. That's the only place where I use a Sorbo channel anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice, TJ. Well, there's a question here, but I don't know what it says because it's in another language, and I apologize, sir.
Okay, oh man, what about this other one that missed one? I've been doing bids and track on the extra $15 for, or he tacks on the extra $15 for gas if he's got to drive out there, and it's over $4 a gallon. Does anybody that's watching, does anybody have like a gas surcharge right now? Because I've been asked twice today about a gas surcharge. Like, if I think
I would do it right now, or I would up your prices for right now. Like, I totally think that is totally fine to do. And with inflation and everything, I think this is a year of anybody. You should totally up your prices. I don't see why not.
Yeah, if you put a gas surcharge, like, where's the mark that it comes back off? You know, like if you put a gas surcharge on and the gas is $4 a gallon, so as soon as it gets to $3.99, you take the gas. Like, if you just raise your prices, it keeps you. I mean, that's literally what the markets do. And people are like, oh yeah, they'll go back down. No prices never go back down after like fuel surcharges on, like, you know, loaves of bread are now $3 a loaf or whatever, as opposed to $1. Like, that's economy. That's just what fuel does for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. My first summer running my own like truck was actually in the year of, what was it 07 or 08, when the gas prices got super high during the summer, and it was like $4.25, I think, at a certain point, and that was high back then.
Yeah,
but that was my first summer driving my truck, and at the time, my boss didn't want to pay me for gas. He didn't want to give me anything, and it took me like a month to try to actually get him to pay me, and he finally did. But I mean, he fought me on it, and I was making $10 an hour cleaning like 12 hours a day we didn't really do good work, I'd have to say, but I mean, I made like nothing after all the costs. It sucked, man.
Here's a question for you. So Squeegee Life and Steve Squeegee's here, and he says, we offer a luxury service, but then says, go ahead and price yourself out of work. Don't worry, I'll clean their windows for you. So he's contradicting himself. He knows that we're a luxury business, yet he doesn't want to charge more for the job. What are your thoughts on charging? Because there's some people who think that, like, I can't charge. I mean, I've had people too, or they'll talk about, like, I average $25 an hour. I'm like, what? You got to raise your prices. They're like, no, my customers won't let me.
Yeah.
Isn't that like mental? Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's hard because I think every market is different, and that like a lot of people ask me questions of like, what should I charge in Arizona? What should I charge in California? And it's hard because I don't know those areas, or I get comments on YouTube videos of bidding, and they say, I would never hire you to bid houses in my area. Totally understandable.
Yeah.
I think what it is like, I put out like an average in these videos. That's not always like what it is exactly when you're there. But I do think though, in that I think it's hard sometimes for some to like make that move to just charging more and seeing what will happen. Like, I've definitely had times where like I'll like say, okay, I'm going to start charging $2 more for this, $3 more for this, $4 more for this. I go out there and do it, and for a month I'll almost get turned down on like way more percentage of bids, to the point where it's like, oh God, like, okay, I feel like I need to back off a little bit and start price, and doing that. But I think if you had enough coming in, it wouldn't matter, and you would start to build up that. But if you hear any veteran in the business, I feel like they always say, don't undercut yourself. Like, charge accordingly, and it will build up in time. Like, don't try to rush it by underbidding things. But I don't know. I would say I love TJ, and you
Well,
know.
and everybody that's in here knows they're not the cheapest. Like, that's not what we're talking about. Obviously,
Yeah.
TJ makes great money. It's just when some of the things that they don't charge, and I'm not talking just squeegee life either. He just brought it up, but
Yeah,
it's one of those things that sometimes people will ask that and they're like, it's a little bit more than I can charge. I just can't charge, but yet they haven't tried. And that's why I said, even on like the do anything for a week. You do it for a week, it'll give you a really good judge. But do you remember Kevin Dabrowski? I think I have his book somewhere around here, but his big thing was $1 million window cleaning, and he was out to prove the point of how much money you could charge for window cleaning and make it an ultra luxury service. And he just realized that you can't be ultra luxury. You could be on the top end, but there's still like a margin. You can either be on the bottom or the top end of this. You can't be up here, and he figured that out exactly by doing that. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I find too, that when a job is well priced, you feel really, really good about going in there and making sure that every single little thing is done. And then if you have underbid it, then you feel rushed and you might not do as good of a job as you've done. And I've definitely felt that in some of the estimates I've done over the years where I'm like, man, I messed that up. And now I feel like I have to rush through this job to make myself happy or to make the company happy. And I mean, pricing high is, I even sometimes have issues with it where like, the lady's really nice, the old lady's really nice. And I cut her, I cut her a discount or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
He made a good point though, in that like, what's the first thing to go? And I would have to agree in that during the times of COVID, we were definitely some of the first things to be cut out, which is luxury services. Right. But then at the same point, those luxury services go to the luxury style people and you can price a lot and blah, blah, blah.
Well, there's a difference between a residential being a luxury and a route. Like if you're a route, you're not a luxury. You're to the necessity point. They can do it themselves though, so it's like one of those things where you necessarily cannot charge luxury prices on route at all. Like we know that, but I there's always a little bit of play, I think. But here's the thing. Everybody has that one job where it's like, dude, I make like $250 an hour on that one job. It's like, okay, so you've already proved your point that not to that extent, but that it is possible to charge you a little bit more than what you're charging now. But people, they just get in that mindset, But another thing, people don't raise their prices every year. There's people who are like, I charged right in the beginning 5 years ago. It's like, okay, every year that inflation's what, like 8% now or something? Like if you're not raising your prices, you just made 8% less this year. Compound that with last year, compound that with the year before, and you're making half the money you were the first year you did it.
Yeah. Because like I have a video where I talk about like everything that I bid, and that's pretty like right on with what I do. And with my time in houses, I always find that I bill out like 125 to 150. For me, I'm very happy at that. Like I don't ever look at that and like I'd rather get more. I could, but like I'm very happy like right at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. You don't have to be, there's a point that like you don't have to just raise your prices to raise your prices. That's one thing that we always kind of get the bad kind of bad rap, if you will. That people are like, oh, you're just trying to inflate the market. It's like, no, you're just staying current. You got to stay current, and you have to actually make the same amount of money. Even if inflation's 8%, that means that every job you do this year versus last year, you have to have 8% raise, or you're losing money. You're making less money than you did last year.
Yeah.
If a dollar's only worth 50 cents.
Did you ever find like when you raise customers on like, or when you raise prices on customers that you already had, and they were other business owners, they never had an issue with it, but it was usually the ones that like, say, residential customer who wasn't a business owner or didn't understand it would have an issue with it? Because that's what I always saw, was that the business owners that we would raise prices on usually never had a problem because they understood business. They were like, I get it. Like, you got to raise prices. Insurance rates go up. Workman's comp changes sometimes from year to year. Like different things change like that. Like we would up prices every single year on every single customer. It was just what we did. I did it this year. Every single customer got upped. Every residential got upped. They'll get a brand new, different price when I go there this year. Like it all goes up.
Yeah, and here's for everybody in the comments that's talking, please keep talking, by the way, and tell me your thoughts on this. But here's something for you to think about. Should a window cleaner who's in their first year of business make the exact same amount per hour than somebody who's been in the business for 20 years with 20 years of experience. Now, nothing against the new guys, because we've all been there, but I feel like if I have 20 years of experience, I should be making a little bit more than the new guy, right? Yeah. So in that same sense is that if inflation in a normal year is 3%, I'm going to raise my charges by 5% because I'm going to make inflation money and I'm going to be a year smarter. So I'm going to charge a little bit more for that. That's on that. But on house side of things, I also think it's a big way that people ask, because I've seen people who have like raised prices and they're like, they'll write even emails and they'll like screenshot emails and be like, hey, is this okay? And it'll be like, hey, I was just wondering if it's okay that I raise prices because I have to, like the way that you ask is a big thing too. If you just go to people and you're like, hey, this year our price increase is 2% above inflation. So I just want to let you know everything else is the same. We're still going to give you the great quality. How does Tuesday work for about? In all of the years I've had, 2 people that I remember that were houses that were like, oh, I can't do that increase because the guy that, my so-and-so asked me, and now that you're raising the prices, I got to go to him, my cousin's brother or whatever. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it is really pretty rare.
There's I don't want to say who the person is, but like there is there was a company that was local in a city, and every time we
that was good. That was good. It was a company in a city.
Well, I have to be careful because I say things on here and I get calls like the next day. This has happened already like 20 times from the show from 20 separate people who get like mad about something I say. And so I have to be really careful. So what's interesting about it is that in that area, that window cleaner for about 20 years just sucked the prices down to a bare minimum of what it should have been probably back in the 90s. And kept those prices in that area, then stopped. And then once you got in that area and started talking to these customers, they didn't want to even pay close to what was normal prices.
Right. You damaged the market.
Damaged the market in this certain town for good for a while. And every single time I talk to somebody in this area and they say, hey, I got my windows cleaned by blah, 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 they were charging this. I'm like, dude, I would be at least 1.5 times that price to even come to your house and do it. Like, that's just what it is. So it happens.
And it really does depend, too, on where you are in your business. TJ asked, not to keep bringing up TJ, but he's really, really smart guy. If you have ever had a chance to really talk to him, super, super smart guy. But he said, so do you get mad when they undercut you? And for me, it's no, because I know what I want to make an hour and I know what I should be making an hour. And I know that if this place I'm getting $50 an hour, but this place I'm getting 75. If I lose the 50 or whatever, vice versa, if I lose one of them, I know I can get another one at the better rate. Like, there's certain things that if you do lose somebody, not that you ever want to, but if this is the middle of COVID when crap hits the fan and you need to work and $10 is better than $0, that's a completely different thing. But if you're in a place in your business where you're like, okay, I'm trying to strengthen myself, I'm trying to strengthen my company, I'm trying to build this, I'm absolutely okay with getting undercut because I know that there's other people, there's other jobs, there's all that. And then I'm also not like, I don't have 3 jobs to my name right now where if I lost one of them, it'd be a really, really big freaking deal. So that's kind of where my brain is.
Yeah. Prices, it's a funny debate you can have about prices, like back and forth, because it differentiates between people so much as far as like kind of like what their business plan is and, all that good stuff. And the crazy thing too is like right now, like even talking about residential, I kind of feel is things are getting back to normal as in people getting back into offices. But for 2 years there, I mean, even though that the storefronts kind of went away a little bit for some that were, pinching pennies, the residential just went crazy. And a lot of those people are home. And I never had anybody balk about prices during that time. And, it was good.
Here's the question on that one. So we were talking before the show started about like where we feel we are in the seasons, all that fun stuff. But now people have been off of work for about 2 years, give or take. Are those people, because a lot of those people now are going back to work, do you think that that's going to affect us as window cleaners? Because now people are not seeing their windows all the time. Because there's like these big giant things where it's like, what, GM or no, one of the big companies just was like, oh, you got to come back to work. Like everybody back to work. It was like 10,000 employees back to work.
I think what's good about that though is that some of that work would come back for like inside commercial buildings. Commercial buildings need to be cleaned regularly. I do think there was so much of that work. Like this is so random, but I remember a bagel shop that I cleaned, and part of like a huge part of their business was delivering bagels to these businesses in these buildings for just the morning, like whatever. And boom, that was gone. So like that was gone for a lot of janitorial companies. That was gone for a lot of people that service that stuff. So like all that's coming back. And that's a large market of like quarterly, as we always talk, like those quarterly commercial jobs are so good. And now that people are back at those, I think that could kind of fill in some gaps as far as that goes. But I think residential, I don't think it would be something where it would really like taper heavily off due to that. I think residential is usually the people that can afford it are going to do it. And those are the same people that during COVID could afford it and do it just because they were home. So I think it's the same group of people that will still get it done regularly.
Yeah, I think that the large contract guys and the route guys are going to see their resurgence is here. They had to do too, especially if you were like a solid route guy or most of your jobs were route. It was a tough time. I mean, I had guys, and again, you know, people call us all the time about different things. I had people in tears multiple times who are literally losing their business. They're like, hey, I had one guy literally call me in tears, and he's like, dude, I'm closing my doors, and I wanted to say goodbye and thank you for everything. That was like literally his thing. He was out of Boston, and he was shutting down because he was a route guy, 100% route. 100% route. He said at the time when I talked to him, 63% or something of his route jobs went out of business. Not just canceled him. He was down like 90% canceled his service, but 63% of his companies that he did jobs for were no longer even in business.
Yeah.
Like that's rough. That is like, you know, that's a whole nother world where those guys now are coming to resurgence because now everybody's starting to fill those vacant spots. You know, everybody's kind of getting in, you know, places are going like hotcakes, you know, these new storefronts and people are opening businesses. So all of that will start to kind of kick back in. But I feel like almost the houses and people not really seeing it is going to, I think is going to shift as far as markets go. I hope everything is awesome, but I just think that it's going to shift a little bit.
Yeah. I kind of thought of, you know, towards the like end when things are getting better, like, would you as a route person the stuff that's going on?
I want to ban Steve S right now, but I'm not going to. You're entitled to your own opinion as wrong as it is. He's probably a 2-clip guy. That's really what it is. He's probably a 2-clip.
Oh, Starbucks sucks too. Oh no. Chris, I think I'm learning my camera. That's why it's not too crazy. I'm learning not to put my hands in front of it so it doesn't focus in and out the whole entire time.
You set like this too the whole time. You're like, so
yeah. Hey,
hey guys, how are you?
It's like the SteveO picture. What was I talking about?
Sorry.
Oh shoot, I don't know. I was gonna go off on
just like the change of like everything kind of together and.
Yeah, so like, would you think about now with things getting better of like targeting those businesses that were essential, right? You're not going to be able to get all of them, but like grocery stores, gas stations, pot shops, liquor stores, like everything like that. Those were the ones that stayed with us, to be quite honest. And like,
by the way, hashtag Colorado, the guy in the tie-dye shirts. Nobody else is like,
hey,
we don't have
they
those.
pay cash. They pay cash all the time. They got cash on hand. They only going to pay cash. So
great customers.
Yeah. So now that's the thing I thought about, but I don't know if, oh man, these comments are going to go off. It's going to go off the rail.
These are bad.
Oh man.
Steve is just trying. Where's TJ? We need help from TJ. TJ, he'll say what he wants to.
Give TJ a call. Get him back in the comments if possible.
Right. Yeah. Hey. It is going to change. But like you said, there's certain things that are going to go up, and that's the diversifying in window cleaning. I think is so important. These guys that like, dude, like never would I ever hope or wish or anything or say anything about somebody who closed their doors. It's awful. But I feel like when you have everything invested in one piece, it's easier to happen than when you have it in commercial, route, residential. Like, okay, I can fill this spot with this. And if one side kind of falters, you know, if you have 1,000 customers, it's really hard to go out of business. You'd have to lose 1,000 customers. If you have one customer, it's really easier, you know?
Yeah, that's the huge scary thing that I've seen a lot of janitorial companies where they have really taken a hit is when they have that one large account and it's like half or like one out of the three is just a huge account, and that's a scary thing. So
dude, I had one contract that was a $98,000 a year contract, and when I got it, when they were like, "Oh, cool, everything's approved. We're gonna get you your signatures to bring the sheet in tomorrow. We'll get everything done or whatever." I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to, because that side of it, I had to bring on more people. I had to bring on more trucks. I had to that whole thing. It's like, okay, well now I really, really have to sell, because if that one thing falls through, is cost me tens of thousands of dollars, not just the money that you lose. It really can change things. So,
right. Give me a second here.
Are you spam blocking?
I put him in timeout, y'all. Chill out, bro.
We had so many good comments going there. Algorithms are going up from.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
you were only timed out for 300 seconds, so man, get your stuff together.
300 seconds. How do they pick that? That's weird.
That is really strange. I don't know why that must be a setting thing.
I bet you if he was talking about how he liked Trump and somebody blocked him, it'd be so much longer than 300 seconds. Am I right?
You know what? I'm just a huge non-political debater.
Yeah.
I never get involved in it. I just never do.
I like I won't even get into it, but I like the fact that there's some things where you're like, look at this fact. And then other people are like, no, I still don't believe it. It's like, that's not a belief. That's a fact. That's anyway, that's politics.
I have no problem though in my channel though of blocking people. Like some people do not like blocking people because they feel like everyone should be heard. I have no problem in doing it because I'll receive nasty messages from people. Just stuff where I'm like, dude, F off sometimes. Yeah. I have no problem in doing it. Out of all the years, I won't put my time into you, and then boom, that's it. Just won't do it. Wasted so much time.
There's so many people that really do if you want to make your claim or you want to say something, we always joke about the 1 clip, 2 clip thing or water fed or whatever. If you want to make it known your thoughts and you don't agree with my thoughts, awesome, high five. We could talk about it. Maybe I can convince you. Maybe you can convince me. But if not, we could still be sweet. When it comes to some other things and people just freak out about it, it's there's no, it's like flat earthers. I'm sorry if any of you are flat earthers, but you're like, hey, the earth is flat. And you're like, here's a picture of earth from space. They're like, that's fake. Okay, here's a video of earth from, and they're like, that's fake. It's like, okay, so no matter what I tell you, you already have your mind made up. That's a lot of the stuff. So yeah. It's
a whole different culture that we live in now of just oh man, it's I can't even go into it. But there's a good question from David Richards about window cleaning.
Window cleaning, that'll be interesting.
Yes, Josh, you're going to answer this one. Jersey, why is boar's hair such a good scrubber? Almost miraculous how well it scrubs.
Yeah, you want to know the real reason? If you can hear me,
your volume.
Can you hear me? Right.
Nope. It's like slow mo.
Weird. Can you hear me?
It's really weird. You guys hear this? Now you sound like a robot. Is everyone else?
Hold on. Now you can hear me normal, right?
You're all good.
I'll just take my AirPod off. Whatever. I went to itch my ear and it turned my AirPod off and then just freaked out. Anyway.
It did freak out.
The reason is if you look at hair under a microscope, if you look at it under a microscope, you can see the sides of the hair. There's folds where the hair grows. Well, in synthetic fibers, you can't actually make that. It's extruded, so they're smooth. So when a brush brushes, it's not the tips, it's the pieces that fold down, and it's the sides of the brush. So the reason a boar's hair does is because the sides of the bristles are actually textured, whereas nylon or monofilament is not textured at all.
Yeah.
That's why flocked brushes actually never really did anything different. When they flock the tips, you remember brushes used to be like that, where they're fuzzy on the ends?
Is that what Unger did with their most recent brush, right?
I don't know that it's flocked. I guess I didn't look close enough.
Or it's I forget what it's exactly called. Spliced.
Spliced. Okay. Well, spliced could make more sides, but flocked just made it really thin, but it made lots of things. Well, that would be fine if your brush was like this, but
Right.
your brush never is like that. It's pushed under the glass. So,
right.
Yeah.
I find I'm the same way though, man, in that like when you hit a window with a full Tucker boar's hair brush, I will Tucker like that. I feel like that's the best boar hair brush, like, just to be honest with you.
Yeah, Tucker's boar's hair is a better grade than anybody else's boar's hair. Like I don't know, I'm not saying bad things about other brushes, but like there's other brushes, and I won't even name it. It's like pennies on the dollar. This other brush, it's a full boar's hair, and I don't know where they get the boars from. I don't. It's like costume hair. It's like literally the worst socketed brush ever in all of the world.
I'll say it. I think the one that's not very good that should be totally changed, but I think there's a new one coming of the new Enlight, was the old Unger boar hair. It made no sense. It just was one length. There was nothing in the middle, and it just did not. To me, it was so heavy and so much more than what you needed. But I won't go on that one.
Brushes are interesting to me because brushes, other than the stiffness of a pole, brushes are what does most of the work. Between that and the stiffness of a pole, that's what does the work. Everybody's worried about how light a pole is or what kind of water it makes or what kind of, but the real part that does the work is the brush. But yet the innovation side of things is just so lacking in the brushes that, it's very, you would think it'd be the opposite way. There's 1,000 different poles, but yet like 3 brushes.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And someone mentioned here, like, they're great, but they wear out quickly. Yes. If you buy a boar's hair brush, especially Tucker, and you use it a lot, it's probably gonna last you 6 months. If you are using it here and there, maybe a year. But like I always get a fresh new boar's hair brush every year. Yeah.
Max Solar Efficiency said, if windows are super dirty, should I do traditional the first time, or can I use a water fed?
Just really depends. So let's say it's like a 2-story and it's really dirty and you want to use water fed pole, I would do it. If it's like a 1-story really dirty, it might be easier just to go around and do it traditionally. It just all depends. Like I would do it. I wouldn't have a problem doing it. But if it's 1-story, I wouldn't. So it just really depends on the job. But I would definitely feel like I would do either way. I just won't use it on construction cleans. I would never do it on construction cleans unless it's a window that is so out there. I've done it a couple times, but the customer understood, like, not everything is going to come off, but it's going to look clean.
Yeah. Well, and that it really does. I mean, it can go both ways, really, because I would never, ever, ever, ever tell anybody that water fed will be the only thing they'll ever use ever, and you'll never have to do it. But like you said, like TJ said too, he dials in the windows. He'll do them traditional the first time, and then you're upkeeping with a water fed. That's cool too. But every truck that we ran had water fed on it, and every crew had water fed, and they used it for everything from first times to not. So it just really depends.
Yeah. Yep. And it depends on how comfortable you feel with water fed too. That's the big thing, is like when you get water fed first, what I always tell people is like, use it on the stuff that you really, are thinking that you don't want to ladder up to. Use it on there first and get used to it. And like over time, you're going to be using it on more and more stuff. So
yeah. Rick Truckee just came in and he said, brand new to this and late to the stream, who is the guy being interviewed, and does he have a YouTube as well? And I think that's me, because we're on your channel. So weird that I asked the question, but
yes,
yeah, I'm a newbie in, but hashtag one clip.
Check out Window Clean Resources YouTube channel, and you'll see WCR Nation on there with Jersey.
Yeah, we both do podcast and media stuff. We both do. But it's nice to meet you. Hello, either way.
Yes. Now let's see. We have another question here from Victor. How do you test if a window has tint on it before you use a blade? Ooh. To me, it's a little bit obvious, but usually you can see right where the tint and the seal, a small little thing. And if you hit a window with a scraper, usually it just digs right into the tint right away and you can't really move it.
Yeah.
So, but I would look for that. If the window has a little bit of tint, I would definitely check it out.
I actually, you can bash me all you want. I tested windows with the scraper, like not like in the middle, but I would go to the very bottom corner within like the bottom like half inch. I would take the corner of it and just lightly kind of go down, and it would literally grab if there was any type of tint or coating in it.
Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah. I actually did that the other day, not knowing. I was about to scrape off some tape and there was tint and it stopped. And I said, oh, okay, don't do that. So live and learn.
I went to a house one time and the whole back thing was all tint, except one window was like clear. And I was talking to a lady and I said, oh, did this get hit by a rock or something, by a lawnmower, and you had to change it? She goes, no, our last window cleaner just took a razor and was like, yeah, and like took off like a foot section of tint when he realized, and then he had to take all the tint off the window.
Dang.
I was like, oh.
Dang.
Oops.
Damn.
Oops.
Wow.
So that happens.
But then, you know, there's a lot of windows out there too, commercial, that are like tinted between, as in that it's just like a dark glass. So there's a lot of questions come about that all the time, is like commercial glass that's tinted. What do I do? And usually that's just kind of like a tint that's made into the glass and there's nothing about it. So you're good.
Yeah.
Joshua Rodriguez. I've been wanting to spray paint my Sorbo channel. Your Jersey ever done that? No, I haven't. I spray painted a Sorbo handle one time, thinking I'd make a USA style. It didn't look good. It was a fail.
When you see a Sorbo channel that is done up, that's actually anodizing, whatever. That's actually in the process of aluminum. It's not like paint. It can't come off. So painting it is just going to be something that's on the surface of, I don't know that I would do that. Powder coat, I could see holding up a little bit better, but now you're really like spending a lot to make a colored channel.
Do you think the dipping would work and stay on a channel? Like if you dipped it in the, what's that thing people call?
Hydro dipping, right?
Yeah.
And I can see that working, I bet.
Yeah.
But then you got to have like a tank. Well, actually, you don't even need a tank anymore, right? Can't you buy like the film sheets and spray activator on Amazon?
I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
TJ, 2 clips are for nerds. That is not true.
Didn't I tell you I like him? Didn't I tell you how smart he is? I told you he's so smart.
That took it down a notch for me. I'm sorry. Question here. So, Moonwalker cleaning training videos, Greg Armstrong. What up, Jersey and SteveO? How do you feel about one-man crews with a mix of route and residential?
I love that you changed that, by the way. But I always on any of my route work, I always ran one person, because it doesn't make sense for half the day 2 people to be in a car. But on every residential that I ever did with minimally 2 people, I've never had a residential done in 16 years that was one residential person at all.
You have to have a special employee to like want to do it by himself and very like motivated.
And there's a ton of benefits though. Like you can have, somebody on the ins and outs working at the same time, so they can kind of point to each other. It feels more efficient.
Yeah. But I think, one person on route work is best. Is you just really 2 people on route work, the efficiency is like not there. I used to do it a lot, and like we would sometimes have 3 of us like doing a gas station. I'd just look around and be like, what are we doing, man? Like we were in the car longer driving from a job to a job than you get out. I mean, you get the jobs done quick. It's a fun day. That's the thing too, that I think you have to have sometimes where you almost like, if you have employees, like let them go out for a day with each other. Like I don't believe in like every single day just pushing it as hard as you can. Like you got to have some fun days in there. Like at least like one day every couple of weeks or one day a month where they get to work with each other and have a little bit of fun and not have it as hard on them. I'm a huge believer in that.
It's way more expensive to lose an employee than to keep one happy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, cool. Good questions tonight. Do we have any more here? Oh, let's see. Did I miss anybody's? I think I may have. I don't know.
Either way on these things is really cool that people show up and people talk. Like, I just want to say that because we do a lot of content and people always show up and always talk, and it's super rad to be able to hang out with everybody.
Yeah, no, we really, really appreciate it as far as coming by, and we hope that all this all this gas prices don't affect much this year.
Did you just one more thing before we go? What about that?
Pretty freaking
the new pole.
Good.
Dude, that color is sick. It's like a pastel almost. Like I really like the pink before that, but
yeah, it's nice.
Really good.
Yep, got one coming. Got one coming.
Oh, man, you got all the nice things.
Do you want me to send you my pink one?
Ooh, I've always loved the pink one. I always feel bad, like Alex and stuff and a lot of stuff. If there's ever like new products where I'm like, I gotta get my hands on that, I don't feel as bad. But like a lot of the stuff, like I got a ton of water fed poles and systems, and it's like I don't even wash anymore, so I feel bad. Like, every time a new pole comes out, they're like, "You guys want to make content?" I'm like, "Yes," but like I don't like. I'll make content with it, but then I just have it sitting there, and then I feel guilty.
Yeah, and my window cleaning is becoming less and less. So I don't get as many times to take pictures, and my GoPro doesn't work like it used to as far as taking pictures, and I've become more lazy with it. So yeah.
That's
put it in Jeremy's cart. He says, put it in his cart.
Who's that?
Oh, wait a second. I want to give a shout out to this guy. Oh man, I'm gonna mispronounce this, but Partridge Exterior Cleaning. I believe this is you. But he has a huge channel in the UK. I mean, huge exterior cleaning channel. Yeah. So let me bring this over real quickly. If you guys want to check him out, dude, this guy, he's the biggest cleaning channel probably in like all of YouTube in the last year.
I'm gonna read his question while you're bringing that over, or did you already bring it over? I'm sorry.
I brought it over.
I forgot how technologically savvy you are.
Yeah. Yep. So Partridge Exterior Cleaning. Do you guys push many other services? From the outside looking in, most U.S. businesses seem to be completely all in on their respective service, i.e. windows or soft washing, etc. So I guess what he's asking is but I mean, in your business, you push a lot of exterior cleaning services, right?
Yeah. So yes and no. So the saying here is a master of all trades is a jack of all trades is the master of none. I can't believe I messed that up. But yeah, a lot of times it's like if you can stay in your wheelhouse. So you see a lot here in the US of like a window cleaner who does pressure washing or a pressure washer who does window cleaning, like those two services. But then like a lot of other stuff you don't find a lot. Like that one guy who was in here in the beginning is doing lawn care and window cleaning. You don't see that a lot, You see more just those two kind of put together.
I'm going to throw up his YouTube channel here, though, in the comments, though, because you guys should check this out. I don't think he's as well known over here, but awesome content as far as just like crazy good content in the cleaning exterior world. So, yeah.
And,
go ahead.
I was just going to say to both Jeremy and to Zen, just text me and I'll make it happen.
Yes. Perfect. Awesome. Text me too. I can make things happen.
SteveO.
All right. Well, I got sick people in the house, so I got to go. So, that's it. But it's been fun, y'all. I'll be talking to Josh about this. The next episode may not be on a Monday, so I'll talk to you about that after, and we'll announce that. And we'll see y'all next time. And keep on throwing around that squeegee. Stupidest thing I've ever said.
It's the worst catchphrase ever.
Keep the worst. Oh. All right, guys.
By the way, if you're commenting, tell us in the comments what SteveO's ending catchphrase should be. Because SteveO, until next time, go out there